Welcome to another episode of The Canon, where I bring you the latest in comic book and superhero movie news. I'm your host, Terry, and I'm ready to bring you the stuff that matters. Before we get into the news today, though, I do want to remind you that if you don't feel like watching the whole video, jump down to the description and you can skip around the different topics. Alright, so for our first bit of news today, we got the DCU / Warner Brothers. There's a report coming out that they want to fast track one of their movies to shoot in 2017 so it can be released in 2018. The list includes Suicide Squad 2. It also includes the Green Lantern Corps and possibly the Gotham City Sirens. So the report also goes on to say that David S. Goyer is ready to take over either the Green Lantern Corps movie as the director or the Suicide Squad 2 movie if Mel Gibson does not sign on. So, for me, I am going to sweep this, and I'm not really going to go on rants. I'm kind of done really hard fighting the DCU. At this point, you know, business is business. They're just going to let it run its course. However, I do think if Wonder Woman and Justice League bomb, they will just shut the crap down. But as of right now, I think they're just going to kind of let it go and try to change things around as they're going. I don't like it, you know, what I prefer, Team Reboot now, but the idea that you lost Flash, which originally was going to be in 2018, they're still trying to figure out a director, so they pushed that back. And now Aquaman was announced that it's been pushed back just 2 months to December, which might be a play to get more money, but that's been pushed back. The Batman originally was going to be in 2018, but now that's being pushed back. So instead of kind of taking the L, they're saying, oh, screw that, grab one of these movies, put it in production, let's go. And I like that they're trying to give one of these ideas the green light instead of just waiting around. However, it hasn't been much planning. And if it has, we don't know much about it as far as director, as far as casting the Green Lantern, anything, writers, script. So if you were to say, it's March now, so we already missed 2 months in 2017. So if you were to say one of these movies is going to start filming sometime this year, that would be a red flag to me because we haven't had anything established for these movies. And that means it's going to be rushed. And it's not like movies haven't been made under a timeline and came out good. It's just, for the DCU in particular, I just don't think rushing the movie is the best course of action. And I don't really want to see a Gotham City Sirens. I hope that's not the case. David S. Goyer, good writer. Don't know him as a good director. So I'm not really excited about that. It just seems rushed. It seems like another bad move. That's pretty much all I got to say. But at this point, I'm just drained, so I'm just going to sit back. I'm definitely seeing Wonder Woman and Justice League. Don't get me wrong, love these movies. But I'm going to just sit back and see what happens. One thing that might be happening, though, is Guardians of the Galaxy 3, not Volume 2. Director and writer James Gunn, during an interview, said that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is definitely going to happen. He said he has to sit down, take some time to write out the story and figure out what he wants to do. But then he got a little weird saying that he has to think about what he'll do with the next 3 years of his life. He's going to do another big movie. He said it might be Guardians of the Galaxy or it might be something else. He'll have to figure it out. So I'm going to sweep that comment. And it was a very weird comment because it started off pretty normal. The first portion of it was just like, yeah, there's Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm going to, write the story. And then it just trailed off into, I want to figure out what I want to do. There's other movies I want to do. There's a big movie coming up next, but it might not be Guardians. So, two very conflicting things. The thought of looking ahead to Volume 3 for him, it makes sense, of course. It's his baby. But for me, it's weird. Like, 2 isn't out yet. We haven't heard any reviews yet. So, we've seen trailers, but let us experience 2 before we start talking about 3. Now, with the Marvel fanboys and the Guardian fanboys, it most likely is going to make a lot of money. But let's see if it's as good as the first one. And if James Gunn could still take a step forward instead of a step back. If that's the case, then yeah, okay, let's start talking about number 3. But I honestly think there's a real chance he might not come back. We've seen directors in the past with Marvel that just don't jive because they force them to make their own type of story. And then also the big hero movies are a big event and they take a long time to write, to shoot, and then promote. So we know James Gunn just did the Belko experiment, and so he has other ideas he wants to do and smaller movies he wants to do. So I could see him not directing number 3 actually, especially if it's not well received. And the one person I would like to see that I have in mind do Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is J.J. Abrams. Why not? He's done Star Wars, Star Trek, let him get the other space opera. So I would go J.J. Abrams if they had to pick somebody else. Somebody that they're going to eventually have to pick is somebody to play Venom. It has been announced by Sony that the Venom spin-off movie will be coming out in 2018. So this kind of came out of nowhere. We haven't heard much about this since the Marvel Sony deal, but it's on their release schedule, so that means it's going to be shooting this year. It seems like Sony might have an actor, director, writer all put together to kind of announce it out of nowhere. I don't think they're rushing it because they haven't had much to do with Spider-Man. Like, he appeared in Civil War, that wasn't anything Sony had to do, and they did Homecoming with Disney, so it's not like they had a lot of stuff they had to deal with. So I feel like they have time to really create what they want to do with Venom. Now, a lot of people, and I keep it by the way if I say that, sorry. So a lot of people are talking about, is this connected to the MCU, how the rights work out? Now, I'm not an expert, but I think it was very clearly stated back then, it could have changed, but it was very clearly stated that Spider-Man was a part of the deal with Sony, not his villains, not his world. It was really just, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and maybe like a couple ancillary characters like Aunt May or something. But his villains, his rogue gallery, all that wasn't part of it. And when they talked about a Venom spinoff, they said it would not be part of the MCU. They made that very clear. And, back in the day in the canon, me and Sal kind of talked about what we want to see from a Venom movie. And I just kind of talked how I would like to see a gritty kind of character piece on Eddie Brock. And I don't remember exactly what I pitched, but I remember I liked it. So I'm excited for it. Actually, I really think it's smart to start building up the rest of the world. You can't rely on Disney to do everything with Spider-Man. He's going to be popular and have heat because he's in the MCU, but then it's their job as Sony to use that heat to make their Spider-Man universe grow. And we know they want to do Sinister Six and Venom and all that with the Amazing Spider-Man. The movie sucked. And so now they're trying to reboot that. But I think with Venom, Carnage, and all Spider-Man's rogue gallery, which is probably number 2 to Batman's, there's a lot to be done. So I'm excited that it's coming out fairly quickly, and I really just want to see what story they're going to go with before I get too hyped. But yeah, so that is the news for today. Go to the comment section, let me know what you thought about anything. Also stay tuned later this week. I'm putting up my Power Rangers spoiler review. Actually, you can check now my Power Rangers expectations video, see what I'm expecting for the movie and all that fun stuff. Let me know in the comments if you're going to see Power Rangers, all that good stuff. Like, thumbs up, subscribe, and if you heard it here, it's official canon.